Yes, everybody, welcome back to TarHeelIllustrated.com, or, of course, if you are watching on our fast-growing YouTube channel, the subscriber number is still going up during the offseason. I'm THI staff writer Jacob Turner, and joining me for this one, as he always does, THI publisher Andrew Jones. And AJ here for yet another episode of our UNC football offseason ISO podcast series, focusing on junior running back DJ Jones in this episode. Before we talk about DJ, I want to go give a shout out to TarHeelIllustrated.com. Guys, we've been, AJ took over this site August 2014. The price was $8.33 a month. Fast forward to June 2022, the price is $8.33 a month. We have not changed the prices, even with all the fluctuating things going on over the past couple of years, with prices for everything is just skyrocketed, particularly over the last year or two. We haven't changed those prices. $8.33 a month. That's all you got to pay at Tar Heel Illustrated for access to our premium message boards, premium content, a ton of recruiting information that you cannot get unless you were signed up for a premium subscription at TarHeelIllustrated.com. So guys, come on over, join the THI family, come be an insider too here at Tar Heel Illustrated. Just click the link below after this video is done, take you right to the website. Go ahead and click sign up. And real quickly too, I want to shout out the Rivals app. Guys, go download the Rivals app at the App Store. I absolutely love it. I mean, literally you click it. It takes, if you got a good connection, it'll take about 15 seconds to download. You open it right up. You find the Tar Heel Illustrated page and it'll take you right there. Just make sure you log in. It'll ask you to log into that as well. It'll take you right to our website. You get notifications if you turn it on, every time an article is published, notifications every time we post an update on the boards. Really, really awesome. It just makes it a lot easier to cover what we're putting out and what's going on here at Tar Heel Illustrated, because we put out a ton of content 365 days a year. So I think it's just a little bit easier to do. And it's a cool interface as well. And you can get on the boards there, read articles, click our YouTube channel, whatever, everything you need is on there. So guys, go download the Rivals app, just search Rivals in the App Store and it'll take you right to that. Okay, AJ, let's talk about DJ Jones and this one, running back for the Tar Heels. Been around the program for a few years, the Fayetteville, North Carolina native. I think what comes to mind with DJ is just banged up, staying healthy. I think that's been something that's been an issue for him over the last few years. You know, he's appeared in a good amount of games in his time at Carolina, but hasn't really been able to consistently appear in games just because of niggling injuries or being banged up or whatever it may be. So I think it's something he's definitely looking to improve on and what coaching staff needs him to improve on. But AJ, what are your thoughts going into this next year when you look at that running back position about a guy like DJ Jones? Because no doubt about it, he is a talented kid.
Oh, very talented. When he's healthy and feeling good and feeling spry and looking spry, he looks good. I like the way he runs. I like the style that he plays. I like the way he hits holes. I like the way he turns upfield. I think he could be a good receiving back. I think he's got some of those skills as well. But you hit on it. It's staying healthy. You know, Mac Brown has said several times, staying healthy is a skill. Mm-hmm. Got to stay healthy. And I think part of it isn't just staying healthy, but there's a fine line between being hurt and being injured. Injured, you can't play. Hurt, you got to find a way to get on the field, stay on the field, work through it, play through it. Anybody who's ever played football, you played soccer, you had to play through injuries and stuff like that, even at the high school level. You got to do it. I'm not saying he doesn't do it, but I'm just saying lots of bang up. And when Max says, when he talks about DJ, you know, you got to stay healthy. So he needs to stay healthy. He needs to be on the field. He needs to be a guy that fights through certain things. My understanding is that, you know, all that's a process for everybody, whether at the high school level, the college level, the pro level. My understanding is that has happened. He has learned how to fight through a lot of those things, which is huge because it makes him a guy who's available. Being available is the most important quality an athlete can have, because if you're not available, then you can't help the team. Then you're not of not much use. So step number one for DJ is to be available. He had a really good spring. The Mac and Phil Longo said at the end of spring, look, he's the number 2 guy behind British Brooks. And I think that there's probably won't be a 1 and a 2 at some point. They're both going to play a lot. They're looking for a third back. Could be George Pettaway, could be our Mario Hampton, who did not participate this spring. Pettaway did. DJ, if he's healthy, is going to be on the field. I think it would not surprise me if he ends up with the most carries this season. I think his potential is that good. I really think he has a chance to be a very good college running back. but there are a lot of steps he needs to take from what we've seen to being that guy. He fully has the ability to do that, but let's see if he can. And I think the availability factor is first and foremost. And then from there, there's consistency about hitting holes and all that kind of stuff, pass protection and everything else. But they like what's there. Sometimes in the portal era, people think it's just players bail on programs. Sometimes programs bail on kids, and those kids hit the portal. Carolina hasn't bailed on DJ. He's still there. They love the potential. I think when Max sits down at his new massive beach house and Figure 8 Island down in Hanover County, when he sits there and thinks ahead and has these visions about fall 2022, I guarantee you occasionally there's DJ Jones darting through a hole, getting into the second level and racing to the end zone because he can be that kind of guy. I think he could be the 15-yard chunk guy too, where he drags a defender. I think there's so much stuff there. But now it's just a matter of it more coming out, being more consistent, and just constantly being available.
Agreed. I've always kind of said, I don't know if I've ever said it on camera, but I've always kind of drawn parallels with DJ Jones and Michael Carter. And what I mean by that is I think they have similar kind of running styles and statures. And when you look at them, especially if you see them up close, they have kind of similar body types, but I'm not necessarily really talking about that. I'm more talking about kind of the injury issues or staying healthy issues, I should say, and being available issues that Carter and DJ Jones have kind of had as underclassmen. And you go look at Michael Carter's sophomore year, for instance. He played 9 games, had injuries throughout that year. Look at DJ Jones's sophomore year last year, appeared in 9 games at running back as well. So I know Michael Carter had a little bit healthier times as a freshman, played a little bit more as a freshman, but they kind of both had similar attributes of during their underclassmen years, staying healthy was kind of the issue. And then Michael Carter gets to his junior year, takes off and never looks back. Now he's a solid running back at the NFL level, and obviously had big junior and senior seasons for Carolina. I'm not saying DJ's going to do that. I think DJ has the talent to do that, but I think it goes to show that even a guy, like Carter, who dealt with injury issues early on, can take that leap, can stay healthy, and then, never kind of look back. I think that's what DJ has to do as well. And I think in some ways you can look at a guy like Michael Carter. I'd be interested to see if they've really communicated and kind of talked to each other about that because of some of the similar injury issues they've had early on in their Carolina careers, because I do think the talent is there. But like you said, AJ, if you can't stay on, if you're not available, that's an issue because you need to be able to be called on. Your number needs to be able to be called on when you're needed. And that's just been an issue for DJ Jones as well. So that's kind of what I mean when I look at Carter and Jones and kind of their parallels of their career, because I do think there is potential if Jones can stay healthy for him to have a really, really big junior season, just like Michael Carter had a few years ago.
To your point, since you brought up Michael became a dog after his first couple of years. We saw
glimpses,
snippets of that.
Yeah.
And Michael had some success very early and he had a couple of really good games as a freshman. Everyone's going to be inconsistent as a freshman. Even the great ones are inconsistent as freshmen. Michael really became a dog his junior year and became a pro his senior year. There weren't a lot of people that looked at him even as juniors and said, well, that guy's going to play in the NFL. So it just goes to show you that there is a massive curve in this process for most college football players, different than basketball. There is a process in basketball too, but the football process, I think, takes longer. It's a wider, longer bend than you'll see in other sports at the college level. So DJ is certainly someone that could break out this year and have a big year. Just like Michael did. He's a guy that if there maybe is a little more dog in his game, he could be that guy. I think part of the dog is fighting through stuff, is the availability factor. I think that's a big part of it. He played 242 snaps last year. So he's been hit and he's gotten up from being hit a lot. He's got a fair amount of experience. Michael had a lot more experience as a freshman than DJ did. And I do think, by the way, when you're comparing styles, DJ's more of a glider. Michael looks more like a sprinter to me, but those are just semantics. Those are minor things. I'm going to be redundant as heck here. He needs to be available. He needs to be on the field, and he still needs reps. He didn't get a lot of reps as a freshman, like 30 or something like that. 242 last year, which isn't a ton. It's a decent number, but it's not a ton. He needs to get on the field and play. Yeah. So they really find out what kind of player they have. when Mac has that vision, like I just described a few moments ago, it's a vision of what could be. He's not thinking about what has been. So and that can be tricky because a lot of times what could be never materializes. I think everybody in the program believes that can materialize with DJ, but they haven't seen much of it. We've seen a few snippets. That's about it. There needs to be more of it. This is his opportunity. August 27th against Florida A&M. The next week in Boone against App State. The next week at Georgia State. Through those first 3 games, he's going to have an opportunity against defenses he should find some success against, including App. Should have some success there. They're going to know a lot about what his future with the team is 3 games into the season. So I think it's a big time for him, and it's a tremendous opportunity because I think he has the potential, and there could be the opportunity for him to quickly step in to running back number 1, be the starter, and get the bulk of the carries because of the high-end potential.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head right there, AJ. Opportunity, it's there. That's a young running back room. You got a guy in British Brooks who's been around the program for a while, but hasn't played a ton of, hasn't ran the ball a ton of times for a guy that's been around the program for as long as he is. DJ Jones, one of the most experienced guys in that room, and he hasn't played a ton of snaps either throughout his Carolina career. So if he can stay healthy, if he can be available, like you said, that
they need him.
Is there.
By the way,
they do.
To your point, I didn't even mention the youth of the room. They need him to be that guy, or at least be a semblance of that guy. They need him to be a snap taker. They need him to be someone who runs the ball that could get them 5 and 6 when they need it, or over the course of his runs, average, between 5 and 6 yards a carry. Michael was at 6 his last couple of years. So they need him to be that guy. I mean, they love what George Pettaway could be. They love what O'Marion had to be. And Pettaway had a really good spring, and I wouldn't be surprised if Pettaway's getting a lot of touches early on. But they need an older guy who can break free and get in the end zone every once in a while. They really need that from DJ. If he can deliver that for them, I think the offense has a better chance of approaching the kind of numbers they had the last few years under Sam. It's going to take time. There's a lot of factors that go into the offense being that team, being that unit. But one of the factors is DJ Jones.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. He is a big factor for them. And guys, let's do this. Carolina fans watching this, if you think DJ is going to have a big year for the Tar Heels, if you want him to have a big year for the Tar Heels and think he can, go ahead and give this video a like below, because like I said, the opportunity's there. And if he can take advantage of it, could be a big time junior season for DJ Jones, just like Michael Carter had a few years back. And, if you have a big time junior year, take that into your senior season, wind up in the NFL one day. So we'll see what happens with DJ Jones. A long way to go for that. Yeah, long way to go for that. I'll throw it out there, and I guess we'll see what happens. All right.
That's the beautiful thing about football. There are a ton of dudes in the NFL that at some point in college, someone said, man, they got a long way to go.
Yeah.
So in football, it happens. That's a great thing about football is it happens often. So
yeah, it does. The opportunity is there.
Guys.
It's about taking advantage and taking that opportunity when it comes. And we'll see if DJ can do that this year. I've been Jacob Turner. He's been Andrew Jones for another episode of our UNC football off-season ISO series. If you guys want to watch the videos we've done already, go to our YouTube channel, click the playlist tab, click on ISO series, and you're ready to go. Real quickly, again, download the Rivals app. Just search Rivals in the App Store. Download that. Sign into your Tar Illustrated account. You're good to go. Make sure you turn those notifications on as well. And come sign up. Link in the description below to our website. Just $8.33 a month. We haven't risen the prices since August 2014. Not planning on doing it anytime soon either, guys. So come join the family. Come join TarIllustrated.com, where you can be an insider too. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Thanks.